Yes, back up on the record, please. Okay, Mr. Barnes, you're making appeal to the Bannock County Commissioners. So please state your name and state your appeal.
Okay, my name is Mike Barnes, 874 Sawgrass Circle. I've been an Idaho resident my whole life, 52 years old. I moved here about 30 years ago to attend ISU. Run two businesses here in town. I bought 7 parcels of land from Larry Bull in July of 2020 out south of town. I've provided some maps of the area for you to look at. My wife and I bought this land because we want to build our, dream home on it. In 2021, one of the parcels in the back corner on top of the mountain had its status changed from ag to rural residential, which makes no sense because these are 30-40 degree slopes. You can't even get up there unless you're a pretty avid hiker. It's been zoned dry grazing forever. The 40-acre parcel right next to it is zoned dry grazing, but for some reason that parcel got changed, which made its tax base go up about 6,000%. When I discovered it, I made a bunch of calls and I got a hold of the assessor. Her name was Celeste, I believe. I had a bunch of notes in there.
Okay.
I contacted her several times, as well as contacting the assessor's office to see why this might have happened. She told me several times it was a mistake and she was getting it fixed. I later came to find out they had changed the assessment. They'd removed the ag status on all 7 parcels, but they had switched 6 of them back to the way they were previously, but failed to switch this one back. And they ended up assessing it for a much higher value than any of the other parcels, and left it in a rural residential status instead of putting it back in ag. And sometime in November, I came down to the office, and they even showed me. I have my RPR statement for that parcel, and something on last year's value, it has 0. So it's like the parcel was deleted out of the system or something and put back in. With this new current year's assessment, which is 20 times higher than what it was previously. And I was told by the assessor's office not to pay the taxes. I pay them once a year in December for all the parcels. I was told to hold off paying the taxes and wait because they were figuring out how to. They said they couldn't give me a refund on it, but they were getting something to compensate for it, and I'd pay the correct amount in December. I went ahead and paid the taxes on all 7 parcels in December online, like I always do, and I paid double the amount on that parcel that I normally pay on it, just to make sure everything would be okay. And now I'm getting, overdue late charges on that parcel and notices that I'm delinquent on tax. My understanding is the parcel's been put back in ag status. I don't know if its assessed value has been placed back where it was or not. I haven't seen a 2022 tax assessment for anything. But what I'm asking is that parcel RPR 401-304-4906 be returned to its previous assessed value and ag status, and that the 2021 incorrect taxes be removed from the parcel and I not be liable for them.
Okay. Sherry, you want to come up and any communication out of your office? This is the assessor.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have a copy of what you referred to as far as last year being zero value.
Right there.
Okay.
And this is the parcel right next to it, up on the mountain.
Yep,
Right
I do
there.
have copies of all of the maps,
That's the value of that one.
so,
And they're both 40-acre
Okay,
parcels.
what, this conversation goes right here, doesn't go back and forth at all.
Okay.
It comes right to the commissioner, so,
All right, I'm just trying to show her apples to apples.
all right. Thank you.
so, we've been working with the State Tax Commission to get our ag parcels correctly categorized, and we've had to go back and verify that there was actual ag activity going on all of the parcels. And because it is valued by use, not any other process. And so the only parcels on this map, and that we've been able to verify that there is ag use, is going to be, and I don't have those, I don't have it identified on this map, but, so the one down here, and as far as I can tell from the purchase and sale agreement between the Mr. Barnes and Mr. Bull, is that they have retained the right to farm on this ground. And the rest of it, there is no ag activity going on that we can verify or that we know of. And so we can't give it an ag value if there's no ag activity. And so these other parcels were more than likely changed back into an ag status in error and need to be put back. They shouldn't be valued as if they had buildable parcels on them and they've been subdivided, but they do have to be valued accordingly without ag value. Unless there is grain silos, or there's a potato cellar, something like that, which there's not on. There's 4 parcels, actually 5, that I believe Mr. Barnes owns, and that would be these 5. This parcel is still owned by Mr. Bull, that has the house on it. And in the contract, it says that he has a first right of refusal to purchase that in the next 3 years, I believe, if they decide to sell it. And so I wasn't available when all this occurred, but I have checked into it, and unless my office receives evidence of ag going on, this is one that there are no, these aren't, to my knowledge, outlined by fences, so it wouldn't be dry graze. And so I am happy to change it back if there's evidence that there's actual ag activity going on in the parcels.
So these outlying areas, do you run any cattle on it? Do you do anything of that nature?
Larry Bull ran cattle on him, and he's run fence along the entire border of all of those parcels. The neighbor to the south, I believe his name is Simpson, runs cattle in this ravine, and they're often up on that land.
But do you run cattle?
I do not currently run cattle on it. I may in the future.
Okay.
The land is not usable for anything.
Well,
It's too
it's
steep.
dry graze. It's usable for dry graze.
graze.
And that's why it was on there. Mr. Bull did use it for dry graze.
Correct.
You have not. You don't have any ag functions going on at this time on
I do
that
not.
parcel. Okay. That being said, the assessor's right. I mean, if you don't have the guidance for the exemption, then you don't qualify for it. But what I would say is, that's one that in BOE, you come before us because it's not a buildable area. And we would set a minimal value to it, but we're not in BOE at this time. You could come back and appeal that to us.
Well, and as I look at this, is we said that we have ag exemptions that are applied to several parcels, and there's no evidence of ag exemptions, so we are in error, correct?
On those other parcels.
So we have created multiple errors, correct?
Yeah, we have undervalued.
Well, and so again, as I look at this and to see the mess that has come as I look at how and what's going on, I would just follow in Idaho code under 631302, it says specifically if errors are made, I have a real hard time saying that that's rural residential and assessing the taxes on that is that's not even, I'm looking at the geo map right now and it's like, holy, I hope you got your hiking boots on, man. You couldn't even blow the top off that hill and build houses up there. And so for me, I would say that under 631302, as it's erroneous, I would just say where the rest of them were all put back to ag, you would put that one back to ag and let all the appraisers and everybody go out and deal with it and go through the assessment process and go through that way. Because I don't believe it's not rural residential property, and there is no argument that can be made for that. So that's where I have a problem with that. That is an error.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, we have involved the State Tax Commission in this particular issue and have been instructed that no one has the authority to go back and change the certified roll of 2021. And this parcel was not valued in error.
Okay. Mr. Chairman,
Well,
I'll just do-
631302 states, "The county commissioners may at any time, when in session, cancel property taxes which for any lawful reason should not be collected, and may be refunded to any taxpayer any money to which he may be entitled by reason of a double payment of property taxes or any property taxes for the same year, or the double assessment of erroneous assessments of property through error, notwithstanding any other provisions of law." So, it states right there that this was an error. We all just agreed to that.
No,
Yeah,
this was not an error.
you just said it.
No, I said that this was
Okay.
accurate. The
No,
ones around it were.
This was an
undervalued.
error.
No, this was
The
not.
situation was, this whole situation was an error. So we have the ability as commissioners to set it right now.
You can-
according to
you can
tax
cancel-
code.
You can cancel the taxes.
Mr. Chairman, point of privilege. Right now, I would move on parcel number. What's the parcel number? The one that ends in 6. There you go. Parcel number RPR 401 304 4906. the following Idaho Code 63-1302, which authorizes the chairman, or authorizes the commission the authority to correct an error which has been made on this parcel, that we remove the tax value that has been assessed this year and return it to what was assessed last year.
Questions? Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes unanimously. Madam Treasurer, anything that this gentleman needs to do?
Once we receive paperwork from this meeting, then we will do the cancellation. Would you like the money that you paid refunded or applied towards next year?
I'm applying it towards next week.
But we'll send you out corrected bills.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Any questions, Madam Assessor?
No.
Okay, thank you. With that being said, we are adjourned.